Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. We're the spacemen in our space bridges. We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby. And don't you forget it. We a G force, homie. That's a G level. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later. But before I'm out, let's launch the Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, Dialord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So today we've got a number of things we need to do. Of course, we've got the Duna mission, but I want to have some things going on at home too, even though I'm not frequently going to do these things. But just to remind you, we are flying by Duna. We have these 2 test contracts here that we're going to clear up. We have this guy here, which I thought about doing, but it's really quite difficult. We have 4 years, so I am foregoing that at the moment. But other than that, we just accepted these 2 station contracts, and the idea behind this, of course, is that they will fund future launches. And we can really knock both of them out. These 2 are easy enough to knock out if we pay attention. So, yeah, I've been working on a manuscript lately. I just submitted it, I believe it was yesterday, probably a couple of days from now. And I will, of course, be focusing on a few things throughout the week that may keep me from uploading this on the day of recording. But there was one thing I really did want to talk about, because I decided that we did not have enough Delta V to fulfill both the Tundra orbit and the, aside from that, the returning home. So I thought, why don't we actually send a Kerbal out? You might say we just missed our window. It turns out it is still there. It's a little bit more expensive, but not much to send somebody out. And so I've got this vehicle here. Now, of course, we are sending Bob because he is the most trained, I suppose. He'll give us the most bang for our buck. I really do need to train up Rosanna at some point. But, we really do need to get Bob doing his science. So, yeah, that's basically the entire point of this vessel. I am going to go ahead and launch. I will probably stop off in orbit real quick. And then I will, I guess suppose do my Duna injection. So anyway, that'll be us, and we will see you here in a bit. Oh wow, I just thought I would point this out. I am being tailed by a launch clamp. I have no idea what's causing it. I think this is a known bug. Hopefully it will not cause too much of an issue. I don't know how much drag carrying around this launch clamp with me will cause, but I guess we'll find out. This is a bit of a problem. I don't exactly know what's going on with this launch clamp. Or why it is following me around. But, this is not quite what I had in mind for this launch. Okay, we are beginning our orbital insertion bar. The launch clamp seems to be gone. Just going to bring out the solar panels just a little bit. But, yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's good enough for me. I'm gonna quick save real quick. This is probably the only time I will utilize it because it seems like we have a bug in the game, but I do want to see if we look at the debris. First of all, do we have 4 launch clamps left over? Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. Which means if we bring up the debris, that is very strange. This is a very efficient launch clamp, whatever it is, but, we'll just go back to the Space Center, rather. Okay, well, obviously, that thing does not belong there. Okay, we are now within, our apsis, and I think it would be a good idea for us to use RCS to trim this. You can see we're actually pretty darn close. Oh, okay. 164 days. That makes us strangely the first craft to have to worry about this. Just do like that. Which is rather interesting. Hadn't quite planned it that way. But, yeah, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and let Bob do his thing, and we're going to launch the space station. Now there's a number of things that I'd really needed to unlock for the space station. I will go ahead and do that now, if for no other reason than the fact that it's boring for us to really unlock everything all at once. But let me go here real quick and let me open up this guide. This is the return of our Oh Snap series of space stations from way back when. One thing that I am missing here that I could probably do with is I'm missing radiators. Now how we handle that, of course, is up to us. I think I'm just going to put some passive ones on here for now, because why not? But yeah, that will give us plenty of Delta V here in order to take off with. And I'm going to go through the process of unlocking. In case you're curious, this is everything I've got to unlock, so I will be back soon. Okay, everything's been unlocked. I decided to add RC. Whoa, I forgot about that. We are in it a little bit of a tilt here. But I added in RCS jets as well for fine-tuning purposes. We will probably want to get in phase with Minmus. I have a feeling that 330 is actually the wrong phase angle. Well, I am just going to go ahead and launch. I'm very interested to know why this is happening with these launch clamps. Must be a conflict with a mod, maybe. But yeah, I'm here getting into orbit, at least. A little bit late on my burn, because I was enamored with the launch clamp. Such as it is, this isn't the most efficient launch I've ever had. In fact, it's far from the most efficient one. But, we'll go ahead and I'm going to solve this launch clamp issue briefly. And then I will see you in orbit of Minmus. And I will probably make a backup save. Maybe. I hope this isn't the beginning of the end for us. But yeah, we'll see you here in a bit. Alright, I guess I didn't say the whole truth. We're not quite going to do this whole Minmus thing just quite yet. We're going to do a minor correction because I got distracted by the launch clamp, and it really wasn't all that good of an insertion burn anyway. But, yeah, I'll do this correction real quick, and we'll come back to our station, which will come up pretty soon, hopefully. Of course, at this point, it doesn't really matter how accurate this burn is. We just happen to need this guy to hit the right place. And RCS is, of course, very helpful for doing that. But, yeah, we will get this guy going real quick, and I have another thing for us to do after that. Let's just cap it off at 20. There we go. Alright, so this time, at least, let me just bring this guy back over. Like so. This time, at least, we have one or two more things that we can do that don't involve launch clamps, which is actually quite welcome, because they've been causing issues. I've made this CCP-4 craft here, and you know what, just for good measure, I will throw on a couple of batteries, because I forgot to do that when I was designing this. This thing will not really get all that far, but we need to at least get it up to some degree so that, well, we can do the contract, the two contracts, actually, we'll just, when this becomes available, we'll run the test. And there we go. Full throttle, SAS, and gear up. And that seems to be too much weight. I think, oh yeah, we have the thrust limiter on, that's why. Okay, we're now here. I'm just gonna pop those chutes real quick. And, we got one more experiment on this guy. I'll probably see you as this thing lands, because we can get a seismometer reading from the sky that will be fairly useful to us. Okay, we're coming in for a landing now, and you'll notice we have a seismometer on here. The way I see it, we might as well get the 3 or so science from it, because why not? That, of course, leaves us with one more thing to really worry about before we get our station in orbit here. And that, of course, would be getting the dom into interplanetary space. Which has happened just now. Still way ahead of its other people, I guess. Its other spacecraft. There we go. We got about a minute left on our SOI. And I'll time warp just a little bit to see, first of all, did we maintain our intercept? That's going to be the main question. So far, so good. But there's another thing to worry about, too. Because, well, for one, it looks like one of my craft is missing. Let me just get this guy oriented properly. It'll change some things about our orbit, but it's probably not such a bad idea to make sure that we are at least where we need to be with respect to that. Well, Bob here is really going to do 2 things for us. First of all, there's science that we simply cannot get without them. Like, for instance, this crew report. And we also brought along a materials bay as well, so that we can boost up our science just a little bit. But Bob will also do us a favor, because, well, really what we're missing here is we're missing the ability to bring back some of this data very easily. So we'll get that data, and fortunately we can just come over here and grab it. Yeah, we'll take that data, and that data too. And then we'll get them to reset these guys. Scientists are way more useful than they have been in the past. And while it's perhaps not the best thing here, I mean, we will have to make multiple missions. You can pretty much see that this is not a bad place to start. And then, of course, we need to restore this as well. Now, that does not look too good. It looks like we've got, hopefully it's just a graphical artifact. We need to add our transfer in here. It's in 159 days. Although, you know, I guess I did forget to transmit some of this data. I guess I'll just have to do that. Although it doesn't look like it'll amount to much. But let's go back to our space station here. And I will see you close to orbit. Okay, we are now on the Minmus sphere of influence, and there's just a couple of things we need to do here. First of all, it would actually be fantastic if we could rotate this guy on around. The likelihood of this actually happening is probably not very high. And of course there's that input bug where it does become just a little bit difficult to let's see if we can make this happen. I think 34 is actually pretty close to how I want it to be. We'll just do a little bit of trim here. But I don't think we'll do much better than this. So that means us now getting into orbit. Probably not with enough delta V. We just need to capture, really. If we can capture on 119, which it looks like we'll be able to. Yeah, we could just barely capture. Then that'll be just perfect. We can run the engines at full blast and then crank this thing onto the surface. Hopefully in the meantime not actually hitting anything. Okay, we're going full throttle on this guy here. And now that engine is taken care of, I am going to discard it. You can see this guy here is going onto the surface, so I'm happy with it. As for this guy, we can bring down our periaps just a little bit. See, there's the proper marker. It might help if we activate these engines here. Get it down to a 2 or 3 hour period. There we go. Well, that should count. In fact, it did. Which does leave us with a little bit more cash than we started out with. I am probably going to save the file for safety real quick, so I will see you here in a bit. Okay, we are now back, and I thought we would just move on with our, I suppose, our science. Some contracts popped up that I thought would be good to have. Notably, this science collection deal. But I don't think we'll be able to get much more than that. There's another orbital station there. I am not going to do that. I don't think. So, yeah, we will return to Bob here. Although, we might as well briefly go and grab this one probe here. Certainly we have something orbiting Kerbin. Oh, well, no. Looks like that will not be the case. So we are going to have to probably send something out. I'm surprised, in fact, that we don't have anything at all here that is in orbit of Kerbin. Oh well. It shouldn't be too hard for us to put something up. So, yeah. We are several days out from Duna, rather. And, let's just go ahead and time warp through. Although we do have one thing we need to do. If we go here to our... we already got the crew report, but our stored data... Let's get this crew report sent out. Let's see, there we go. So it's off to Duna for us. The main approach we're going to take here is we're going to do something called error braking. Because as you'll see, we'll be coming in at about 2 kilometers per second or so. And I believe orbital velocity around Duna is around 800. And that could be a bit of a problem. I'm going to make that correction first. And it shouldn't be hard to do, like I said. Now when you're coming in like this, and we will be coming in pretty soon, we need to be very careful of just a couple of things. The first one being that we have this inclination change here that we need to make because we're coming up over the top, and we actually want to come over the side. Can't really do much about that at the moment because we're so close. But yeah, we'll let that time expire very quickly. There we go. So you'll notice at least that we have this guy here, and we can rotate to bring this in, but we need to, if you look at our inclination, we have 162 degrees of inclination. And we need to move this guy over to the right just a bit. So that is a combination of radial and I'm trying to remember which way it goes. It goes like this, I believe. That is a combination of radial and normal that we're doing. And for a cost of 53 meters per second, that's not actually bad. Of course, that's not precisely 53 meters per second, but we'll do this real quick. You can see our inclination is going way down. And we're actually below the planet now, so we need to bring this guy just a little bit up. Because if we attempt to modify our inclination as is, we will probably not do very well. And then after that, we need to dip into the atmosphere for just a tiny bit. If we get this set up correctly, then we can get pretty close to the inclination we want. Which is going to be... oh, there we go. We actually move past it just a little bit. So I'm going to turn on RCS. And I'm going to minimize that inclination. Now, the aerobraking bit is tricky. We're going to dip down to the atmosphere, which I believe starts at about 50 kilometers. But we don't want to go too low, because we don't want to be the first pod to land on Duna. I mean, yeah, we could be the first pod to land on Duna, but that could be a bit of a problem. So I'm going to go for about 17.5 kilometers, which should be just dandy. And we're going to begin doing some science. So of course we've got a crew report we can take here, worth 15 science. And we have our basic instruments here as well. But we of course have the mystery goo that we're going to want to send out. And the materials study. So that's the mystery goo. The materials study is going now. And you can see that's already gotten us a fair amount of science. We will get even more science as we return to Kerbin. Possibly long enough for a another visit. Although I would not bet on that. Let's get into camera mode here. We want to grab as much of the science as we can. And we could transmit it if we want to. No, don't. Well, okay. Yeah, it's actually okay to transmit that. We get a little bit of a bonus from it. We'll collect that data and restore. Likewise, we'll do the same with this guy. And now we've got a few more things to transmit. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to leave that untouched for now, aside from maybe transmitting the EVA report. I could have sworn that I took. I guess I forgot to. Okay, well, we'll get that extra little bit of science from transmitting the materials study. Because why not? EVA report. 24 science. Now there's only one here. Up at the top, but we actually do have a fair amount of other data here that we can send. So we will not do that crew report. And everything else is good to go. Okay, we should be good to begin moving in. For now, I'm going to maintain this orientation. And hope that Ike doesn't get in the way. An accidental Ike transit could be a bit of a problem. Now, science begins at 140 meters. Whoa. This is not good. We need to regain some control here. Alright. Main thing to keep in mind about this guy here is that when you are in transit like this, you're technically not in the atmosphere until... So where is Duna? Oh, there's Duna. You're not technically in the atmosphere until until you have a suborbital trajectory. That is to say that you're ballistic. Now technically we are suborbital right now. We'll just grab ourselves the crew report, which we can report back later. We might as well avail ourselves to this while we still can. At least we didn't lose those solar panels. I was a little bit worried that we might. This aerobraking maneuver isn't going to get everything, because we're probably not deep enough in the atmosphere. So what I'm going to do is when I hit apoapsis, actually now's probably a good time to start doing it. I'm going to kick on this engine, and I think we can just get away with burning it to until it's out of fuel. With the idea being that when we come back over here, we will hopefully be in orbit of Duna. But that's the thing about it, is that right now, because of the way we entered, we are going to have to assist ourselves in order to get into orbit, which is fine. I mean, we have plenty of delta V to burn in this stage, and that's sort of what it's there for. On the other hand, we really want to burn as little delta V in the top stage as we can. So, yeah, we're getting pretty close to out of the atmosphere now. Definitely, I believe there's at least 3 biomes that we can hit here. And maybe a 4th if we're careful. But in reality, we want to send somebody else to hit that 4th and 5th crew report, because we need to go over the poles for that. I am not going to try to get home when our best chance is to travel over the poles. I am going to bring out the solar panels. And we're going to jettison this guy. Why not? Oh, that was a funky little explosion. A little bit more in the way of Delta V than I would have liked to have spent. But, I guess we can't always get what we want. Now, can we? The important thing is that we're getting into orbit. And it might be good for us to... I'm going to bring this down to, I don't know, maybe a day's time or so. The amount of Delta V we need to escape Minmus is really about, let's transmit that real quick. The amount of data we need to get from Minmus is, or the amount of Delta V we need is about 700 or so. I think 600 on the lower bound, but you have to be really close to the window for that, and I do not really want to have that be a problem. So here's the plan. We'll grab ourselves the EVA report here above the lowlands. We'll restore that guy. Grab his science. Actually, we'll transmit that as well. Might as well grab the goo here. Get that transmitting. You can see we have 348, which is a good sign, because it means that we happen to have, let's see if we can get another EVA report. No, well, we'll cancel this. There we go. If we can get 3 of these, knowing that one of them is in the lowlands, then we will have more than enough science to unlock just a couple of things, really. And let's check our contracts, by the way, because fortunately we are not in orbit, technically. And I always seem to forget about this. We want that orbital contract, so, there we go. Orbit Duna. Maybe we can additionally get something else, like, it would be nice if we had science over the, over Minmus, or Duna rather, but I'm not going to, bank on that, really. Or science data from around Minmus, at least. That'll help us on the science front. Yeah. Let's just go back here and complete that. That is in fact a very important part of exploration, because we're on a suborbital trajectory. Technically, we have that ability. It'll take us about a day or so. Now, one thing we can do in the interim is we can set this guy as a target, and we can make an inclination adjustment, because we will definitely want to be in a circular orbit to escape at a moment's notice. So there we go. We will get into orbit, at least technically into orbit, because I would consider this orbit, but for some reason KSP doesn't. So there's that. And I believe probably the best thing to do here is I'm going to go to 100. So we'll have this node here that will allow us to, in fact, we'll just warp to that node. And this will, whoa, I have no idea what happened there. I'm apparently in Ike orbit, or Ike flyby mode. Well, let's gather science from it. I don't know really if we can do that. Oh no, we're in Duna. We are just in an Ike crossing orbit. Oh, okay, we encounter that in 5 hours, so we're okay. That was a little bit scary. Oh no, we are in Ike crossing. Are we? I have no idea. I hope Explore Ike is still an option. I guess we'll see if it says that we've explored Ike. That's actually part of the reason why I wanted to reduce my inclination some. I have a feeling we must have flown by Ike, at least temporarily. Oh, whatever. I'll get us into a looser orbit so we do not, well, yeah, we'll still have enough to leave, I think. And really this inclination is just fine. Let's make sure we're above the highlands here. And we want to burn it 33 seconds or so. Now here's going to be the deal. I think if we go back and look at Bob's record, it'll say that we've possibly flown by Ike. Maybe. I want to check that before I leave. But if we haven't, then, I almost consider that a bug, that it says that we've done that, because we were not actually in Ike's sphere of influence. It makes me wonder perhaps if it's just that we were in solar influence instead. Anyway, there we go. We're circular enough, at least. Minor adjustments can be made, but we should have enough to where whenever we want to leave, we can. And that really just means collecting just a little bit more data, because we'll need 480, I think. Yeah. Probably. Oh, we're in Midlands. We'll grab that EVA report. I wonder if we go to the Highlands real quick, which I think is coming up. There we go. Oh, we just passed it. Highlands seems to be a bit finicky. If we grab this, I wonder what will happen when we tell it to transmit, because maybe it'll just go ahead and transmit it for us. No, don't take the crew report. We want an EVA report. Okay, yeah, we do have to be on a vessel. I don't even know why it offers us the ability to do that. So we have Highlands. There can only be one. What else do we have? Lowlands, which we did not translate. Or transmit, rather. And we're missing Midlands there. Once all of this is done, we will possibly be in need of just a little bit more science, which I may do next episode, as we have 4 days to take care of this. One thing I'll do, of course, is I'll return to the Space Center here, because we do have all of the science to spend. We can at least get the research lab. We can ideally get all of the science data that we don't have, which I will probably do off camera because it's boring. For now, though, we have building a new orbital station around the moon, and that seems like a good idea to me, maybe. Or we can build one on a solar orbit. Either sounds good. We can definitely use the money. I'll just leave that as something to think about. But we at least want this guy here. And you know what, actually I will go ahead, because this is 300 science. We just need 2 science points to unlock this. I will begin by creating unlocking that as well. So where is, let's see, I think it's CCP-1. Let's see, landed at the moon. Space. We'll we'll go to Lunar Probe here, which we know has science, and which I may consider possibly moving eventually into Kerbin orbit. At any rate, we will transmit this. This actually turned out to be quite a boon for us. And you know what? I'll do the other one off camera because I really do want those parts for the scanners, which will give us about another 10 science or so. So, oh, that's the wrong one. So, we're about to unlock this. We are at 0.3 science, but we get 2 experiments out of it. We get, this guy here, which I won't research yet, and this guy, and they're both worth science. So, I think we should definitely send that out. Let's take a look at our contracts for next time. We have solar orbits here, and that would be nice, but I want to, we could do another surface outpost. That's, the money's nice, kinda boring. Atmospheric scans on Duna, plant a flag on Duna. I would love to, but here's one. They want us to map several asteroids, and we get science out of it. So I'm gonna take it, because that's a worthwhile thing to launch, in my opinion. We can work on that however we want to. We are not rescuing anybody from Duna, but let's land on Duna. Well, I was hardly expecting that, but I'll take it. It's not a bad thing to have. And we will get that situated next time. Until then, this has been the iLord Root, and I will see you later.